What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know we haven't really talked in a long time. That's the beginning to all my videos. I'm trying to nip that in the butt, so it's not like, hey, we haven't talked. Here we are. This is kind of an update to the shop. I know we haven't talked since early this year when I posted the Fifth Frame Studio Tour. I did a couple other things from that point. Most recent thing, we added a lift. We found a Challenger 10K lift that this guy installed. It's been super helpful. Honestly, it helped me pull all the front suspension here on the Galaxy. Speaking of the Galaxy needed some TLC. The idler arm was shot. The control, what is it called? The control valve for all the steering, because it's got that old school steering. It's not like all integral. It's not like there's external components. So there's like a shock and a control valve that all work in unison to control the steering. Both those things are leaking like crazy. I poured down the power steering pump. I fill it up, and then it just goes right through and drains some to the bottom. So we took that all apart. I'm gonna replace some of the bushings, rebuild the control valve and the pump, and then go from there, and hopefully that'll fix that. But it would not have been achievable if I didn't have this lift. And it's honestly just having the lift was kind of like the next step to be like, okay, damn, I'm going somewhere with this. So other than that, I just want to share with you guys that I'm trying to take this on as more of a business aspect instead of just on the side. You guys always see me doing things on the side on my personal projects. I would like to move into doing this as my business, as my passion. As you guys know, or you may not know, I was an aviation structural mechanic, or basically aviation mechanic for about 11 years. I've worked on fixed wing aircraft, rotary wing aircraft. I've done some engine work. I've done some stuff on the airframe, mostly airframe work, but I'm looking to move on from that and see what I can do on my own. Aviation is pretty straightforward for the most part. A component goes bad, you know, you can go through some troubleshooting. If you find out it's bad, it's more of a remove and replace. But it's not too much outside. You're not deviating outside of what the procedure says. And as you know, with cars, you just figure it the fuck out, you know. And that's what I like about cars. You just fucking get in there and you're like, ah, shit, I don't know what to fucking do. You can read the book, but you know, I kind of take my aviation as a backup to how I do maintenance, because then I can do maintenance more proper, and then I can be more thorough in my maintenance. Or, you know, I think of redundancy, because redundancy is so important in aviation, and I apply that to working on cars, because it's important to have redundancy. You know, if you have a bolt, are you going to have a standard nut on it? No, you need a lock nut, some type of lock nut. Now, will a steel lock nut or a nylock work better in that situation? Or if you're running a standard nut, will it be castellated? If it's a castellated nut, you're gonna run a cotter pin. How are you gonna safety it? Okay, now we run a cotter pin. How do you correctly bend a cotter pin? How do you safety wire something? Those are important factors. Or we talk about prep. You know, people always, you know, go to the desert and not everybody preps. And you go off the desert and break your shit, and then you're like, damn, what the fuck, dude? But then if you would have properly prepped and, you know, stripped the car down, that's why it's such a big thing with race teams. They strip everything down, inspect, look for cracks, shit like that. It's so important to prep and to safety things that actually helps in, you know, not ending up in something in a catastrophic situation. And I'm trying to incorporate my aviation side into this, but as well as have the creativity with the fabrication side. So now I can go work on something. If I can make a structure or a panel or something like that, it's kind of more, how do you say it? There's more passion behind it than just pulling a component that I can't modify or do nothing to, you know? And that's the whole craze with the cars, is that you're able to modify stuff and do what you want. So my goal is to move into fabrication, aviation, put it on the back burner. I might come back to it. We'll see. Really depends on money. It depends on, obviously, the state of the economy and stuff like that. But I wanted to share you guys with a life update. That way you understand where I'm going, and then I do want to share more. It's just definitely a challenge to stay consistent, and then second, to being able to share, you know, as I go on. So we have a couple projects in the shop, which I haven't really talked about much. I'll do separate videos because I don't want to make a video that's too long. Once again, I appreciate your guys' support, and I appreciate you for being on the channel and following, and you guys commenting and engaging. All that stuff means the world to me, because this is where I'm trying to go. See you guys later.